Okay, so that's going live now. My goal for the day is to to get the events from SNS when emails are delivered. However, the first little task was checking the buy me configuration in DNS, and I have an example here. I thought I set it up, but apparently AWS is complaining. It wants a records like that. The example doesn't include the quotes. Interesting. My example is my setup is looks like exactly the same as the recommended. Of course, I don't have with the real email, not with the example com. The mark 1 quarantine p equal percentage 100. RUA is where the aggregated reports are transmitted, and then there is the mail
Hello,
2.
Soul Silver Boy, Rotong.
Okay, I made a mistake here. um, so I'm not sure. The only thing is, do we need the quotes or not? Anyway, it's not even an important thing. So let's try to ask. Let's try to ask this to Gemini. Should this the mark record txt? Maybe that's not mine. Let's put mine. Have the quotes around or not? My record is in Cloudflare DNS, and the example shown for AWS SES does not have quotes. These things are incredibly picky, so you have to be careful about these things. But adding quotes. Okay. So it does suggest to add quote around every TXT record. Oh, that's interesting to know. So it's not, something that is only for the mark. In fact, all my TXT records do have quotes. Okay, so I don't know why AWS Advisor then still says by me record not found or configure default director. However, the impact is low. This is the page I was looking at about setting up BMI, and there are several steps. You must have a custom from domain, which I do, with both SPF type. Okay, let's double check this. But I think I do have all of that. So my custom from domain is called SES, and MX record. So I have an SPF and MX. If you don't have a custom from domain, okay, done. Configure your domain with easy DKIM, which I do. and that's this configuration for the key. Configure your domain with dmarc by publishing a txt record, which I did. In the so an example form, p can be 100 or reject. Quarantine with a percentage of 100. Correct. That's what I have. If you're sending from a subdomain, by me requires that the parent domain must also have this enforcement policy. Well, I'm sending from the main domain, but the from a subdomain will fall under the parent's domain policy anyway, so I don't need to do that. So I don't need to add a DMARC for subdomain. It's already okay. If you ever set up a DMARC policy for your domain, okay. Produce the behind me. Ooh. That's the step that is missing. Produce your by me logo, a scalable letter graphics SVG file. The specific SVG profile required by me, SVG profile, is defined in there. In order for the logo to display in the mail client, must conform exactly to that specification. See the behind me group guidance on creating a recommended SVG conversion tools. Obtain a verified mark certificate. Host your by me logo SVG file on a server you have access to. Okay. Create and publish a by me DNS record that includes a URL to your logo. There is also something else. Certificate? When ISP supports by me, checks your DMARC record, the URL for VMC PEM file. If configured, so maybe it's optional. Configure your domain with by me by permission. Okay. Default by me example with the following values. Sending okay. I think it's a bit not the first thing I need to take care of. It's a nice to have. So at least I know what is it. It's a way to display a logo in the email. Okay, so let's go to the main topic, which was to configure SNS to get these notifications with a Google Cloud function that will persist them in Firebase. So let's start simple. I'm trying to find example of these SNS notifications, which I previously deleted. So okay, here you go. I got them in the bin, I think. Yeah. Okay. So here is an example. Event type, delivery, email, and so on and so forth. So this is event type delivery. There will be a few event types. So step one will be to define a new function to get these events. So I already, okay. First, let's check my source code here, if I'm committed or not. I think I have some changes. In particular, I get out the info object, which I then log it, but if I log it like that, the info object is the one, the response sent by, returned by node mailer, which is the npm package that sends the email using SES in this case. Can support different types of transports, including SES. Here it says, oh, await has no effect. This is unfortunate because there are two definitions for send mail. If you do provide a callback, then does not have effect. Otherwise, it does return a promise. So I guess it's correct to await. However, I guess it thinks I'm using the first definition, unless I want to do it with a callback. But if I use a callback and I'm not awaiting, would the cloud function end? Do cloud function wait for callbacks to resolve? How do they even know? Let's check that. This is a totally different topic, so let's tell them new chat. Do Firebase cloud functions wait for callbacks to be resolved, or only when using await? That's interesting. I think they would not wait. Okay, understanding. Firebase will not wait for arbitrary callbacks to be resolved. This is where promise and await keyword became crucial. Okay, let's see if maybe my understanding is wrong. If my function returns a promise, hello, let's try to. I am using the. Let's not complicate things. I give you only the definition of the one returning a promise. The send mail function, which returns a promise, can I await it or not? Absolutely, yeah. Okay. So non-mailer has two definitions for send mail function. This is nothing that yeah. I'm using the second. I'm using the one returning a promise. VS Code shows a warning. Await is not despite compilation working successfully. Tell me about that. But does the TypeScript allow overloads? I thought it doesn't. Yeah. Mm. Explicitly type might also help. Ah, that's a good idea. So const I won't copy this because I don't trust that that's correctly transported. Probably it is, but so now we typed mail options. Oh, okay. I think I just need to import it. Hopefully it's here. Let's see. Yeah, that works. We still have a problem with SES. But there was also, ah no, wait a second, maybe one warning clears the other. Oh, that's awesome. It solved the await little warning. Okay, Celia needs picking, but it's good. I'm not too happy about this either, but I will let it slide. So now the problem is this console log info will just output object. That's not good. I want to do JSON, how to say, how to serialize an object to JSON with TypeScript. Example. If I can type, would probably print something like object. Stringifier. It's a while I don't use TypeScript, so I forgot even this basic stuff. So they will come back, yeah. Easier to read. So I will not pretty print because it goes on the log, so it doesn't make sense to pretty print. Okay, perfect. Right, so now we got our email sending kind of pimped up. Still a test email, but we look at the response. I don't know how the response look like, so that's why I want to print it to the console, to the logs. I think that would work. Would go to the logs in the Google Cloud function. Anyway, we figured that out. So let's do just a quick commit of this log. Basically, login send mail response. That was the thing. And where is the send mail? Yeah, send mail response. So we can push main, and now we'll do a proper branch for the next job, which was check out FMP, create a branch. We call it SNS email notifications. Okay, so let's create a new functions to receive these notifications. Maybe we can have a look first at that. I know to do that we need to we want to look at this console log with the response of send mail. But to do that we have to first deploy the function. So Firebase deploy functions. And while it's doing that, we can create a new function, a new file for the new function. So I like to keep one function per file and keep the name in sync. So the same file name as the same function name. So this one will be email notifications, maybe, or mail notification. Mail. It's coming from SNS. SNS is the notification protocol. Mail notification, one at a time. It will get TypeScript. I'm thinking other names like a mail result, mail event. Oh, mail event, I like it because that's is called for a email event is sent here. I like it more than notification. Okay. So name is settled. So it will be we'll have a no on request. Okay. We'll create a mail event function on request. Okay, that's the bare bone. Okay, and I started doing this just to not lose time while the function was being deployed. Now it's deployed, so let's double check the info object returned by the mailer. Huh. Oh yes, returned, but no, not here. We are logging it. So we have to go to find the logs. So for that, we have to go to Firebase console. I go to functions. Test email, view logs. That's the one. Oh, how can I copy it to look at it? Okay. It's here, explain copy. Copy as JSON. Okay. So here. Ooh, it's a very big JSON. What the heck is that? So this was send mail info response. So it gets an insert ID from SES, guess. Then the raw buffer with the whole email. Let's delete it. Okay. So we're not interested in that. Let's remove the whole key. We got a message ID, envelope from and to, response, configuration name, test email. That's strange. I thought I used a different name. Is this the same as a configuration set name where I set my configuration? Oh, which is this was the event that was sent by SNS, which confirms that my configuration was used. Okay. It's not written here, but that's okay. Then I have a timestamp, labels, and other things. Okay, I guess, is there anything really interesting here? What is this insert ID? I have no idea. But maybe I can correlate this ID with some response. I might want to save the whole thing maybe in Firebase later, just so to see if I can correlate these IDs somehow. But now let's focus on the new function, which is every time an email event is generated, the function is called, and the function is called mail event. Okay. Mail event has a request and a response. In here, I define the types, request and response. Let's do the same. So request is of type request and response is of type response. Maybe it's not abbreviated then. Yes. Oh, I'm not quite sure about that. So request and response are imported from Express here, while here I got only the response from Express and the request from Firebase functions. Well, if we want to dig, I have no idea how to even know which one is the correct way, or if they are both correct. So let's try to ask Gemini again. In a Firebase cloud function, okay. Oh, let's defined as which is the correct set of imports. This one. We're not using HTTP options, so let's not confuse it on request. Or okay, or both from Express. By the way, based on the way Firebase Cloud Function v2 on request is designed to work with request and response object compatible with the Express framework, the correct is this Express. That's why on request is a function provided a Firebase HTTP module to define. The handler function passed on request receive a request and response object. This adhered to the Express.js interfaces. So it doesn't mean it's using Express, it just means the interface is compatible. Therefore, importing request and response from the Express module provides the correct type. Importing request is not the standard and correct approach. Okay. That's interesting, I ask. So let's fix this and say and apply the recommendation. It looks also better to have request and response imported from the same place. Okay. So here it says Firebase cloud function v2. Do Firebase and v2 use Express, or they just have compatible interfaces. Let's double check that too. Let's go deep. It's good to go deep. Are built upon, utilize or built upon the Express.js framework. Okay, so the mail event function now receive a request and a response. Will it be called with post or what? Wait a second. So let's go to, let's forget buy me. Let's go to AWS. I don't have it open. AWS console, where the SNS topic for email notification is defined. This one. And I got that topic, which is called mail. It's okay. I was thinking it should call mail event, but these things on SNS are events all the time. They are events. That's what SNS is. So maybe we don't need to say event in the name. So protocol would be HTTPS, and yet the endpoint would be the URL of a function which we didn't publish yet. Yeah. So the only thing is, so would be this a post? Okay. Well, when I create a subscription from SNS topic on AWS to a HTTPS endpoint, would AWS send a post request or what? Because I think it will be the body. What's going on? What? Something went totally wrong. Maybe because I hit this show thinking. I need to determine the HTTP method used by service and any man. I don't figure out something. No, that's just thinking. Whoa, what was all that? Yes, when you create an SMS, a subscription will be post. Okay. A request with a subscribe URL and the JSON body that your endpoint needs to visit to confirm the subscription. Also for HTTP. Post request. Okay. So let's go here and then say, how do I get console log the request body? Okay. Why is it shown as if it was commented out? I would say because I didn't hit tab to actually. Okay. Let's say if it's not a post, we're gonna say 400. Method not allowed. There is the method not allowed is a particularly for 4 or 5. Done that in the body just to make it easier to understand. With also the number, why not? And then we are now at the moment just console log the body. How can we validate that is coming from AWS and not allow third party to call this URL? Oh, it's not a proper security check, but I think it's better than nothing. And, so say, why should you say method not allowed and forbidden? Maybe we can put these two checks together and just say forbidden in both cases. So I copy this bit. Oops, oops, oops. What's going on? Oh, there was a way to enter instruction, which I don't know how to now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Forbidden. If the method is not post or there is not this header, let's return forbidden. Okay. What we want to do now is just save the body in a Firebase collection, just so we can have a look at that. Nothing fancy as a first step. Save request. Maybe we save the date as well. We better say which Firebase collection. In the mail event or mail events. Are we calling this collection Firestore? I should have said Firestore collection users interest. So let's do a single. Let's do a plural. Okay. We're gonna see how to initialize the DB correctly. I think I'm doing it here. App initialize app, get Firestore app. Right. Okay. So at the moment we don't need field value. Let's see. Let's use it for. Okay. Along with a timestamp. Command E for command. Save. Command I for command L for cascade. clear the chat. Instead of close, let's use SWE1 free. Okay, let's copy here the same thing, write mode, okay. Okay, now it works. Mail events add, spread the request body. Oh, this was a suggestion, but this response is still working. What a mess. Oh. Can you use a modern program? Should I accept it initially? Yes, accept it. A modern programming style. Let's wait, I have to reduce the window size. Okay. Programming style with a wait and try catch instead of this shit. Question mark. Better error handling. The error handling would be the same, isn't it? Just more readable. Let's accept everything and then read. A bit difficult to figure out. Okay, so try catch. Receive the mail event log. We not login. Create document data with timestamp. We don't need this comment. So spreads the body and adds a timestamp to ISO string. We'll see what's the difference with the other way to get the timestamp with field value. Should we ask Gemini? What's the difference in a Firebase cloud function between getting the timestamp in these two ways? One is this field value, where field value is this one. Let's clarify. Remove that. One. First way. Second way. The one that was done here. Okay. When working with timestamps in Firebase Cloud Functions, we have a couple of options for recording the time of an event. The two commons method you mentioned might seem similar, but have crucial difference in the source of time and how they interact with Firestore. Server timestamp source of time does not generate a timestamp immediately when your cloud function call runs. Instead, it's a special sentinel value that tells the Firestore server to record the timestamp when it receives and processes the right operation. So you telling me, that is something like a string current timestamp, then is then expanded by Firebase when the write is actually happened. This is the most reliable way to get an accurate server time for your data. Yeah. I think I read enough, but let's keep on reading anyway. Client network latency, Firestore data type, source of time, the machine. So it's better to use the Sentinel value, not the one created by the AI here, which would work, but it's not the best way. So here we have to add the import for field value. Okay, let's review carefully. Now we have our mail event function, which is a dump function. Just, yeah, we don't need that comment. We check that it's coming from SNS. Okay, it's not foolproof, but will block random requests to the URL. And then, yeah, we don't like these comments. Creates an event data, serializing the request body. Can this go wrong? I'll put it outside of the try catch. We don't need that comment. It creates a Docker ref to the collection of mail events. We don't need that console log. Yeah. Maybe we won't. Don't know. Let's get rid of it. Event log successfully. That's fine. And otherwise it returns an error. Why want to remove that? Leave it there. Okay, so I guess we have a very simple function that will get the post from SNS and just save the raw event so we can have a look at in a new collection called mail events, which does have a timestamp. I don't even know how the format would be for that timestamp, but I guess I've done this before. Okay, it looks like a date value. So let's ask to this to Gemini. What would be the data type, unless it told me already? Let's say first type, native timestamp object, nanosecond precision, or a string. Oh, that's a big difference. Okay. So an event is could be created, but the events are just created and never updated. Otherwise, it's a new event update. Okay, so let's say the basic thing is done. Let's deploy. Where is the terminal? Here. Let's deploy and test this thing. See if we can save these SNS events. Okay. Some formatting, npm run format. Oh. Okay, that's a weird formatting. It's because I have a very limited number of columns. Maybe just 80 set. Okay, anyway, let's deploy again. And this will obtain us the URL that we can put for SNS to send us those notifications. I'm trying to find here you. That's not quite it. Well, it is, yeah. So that's the topic. What's going on now? Go back. SNS dashboard. Topics. Topic is mail. We say great subscription. And the protocol is HTTPS. And here we put the URL of the function and once available. We have the function interested test email. We are waiting for mail event function to become available. Can drink some water. Ah, the main event function was not published because I forgot to add it the export in text.ts. Okay. So to do it again, the deployment, this time it will work. Hopefully this error should never happen because this is very straightforward. Just save the whole object in the database. That's it. Ooh. The default Firebase app already exists. Okay. So what I want to do first is let's commit. And then we'll ask the AI for a fix, but first commit. Mhm. Okay. So now we are commit, the thing is clean. So here it says the default Firebase app exists. I thought every function is independent, so I thought I had to call to create the app in the interested function. This we don't create it yet, but we have to create it later. Why is this a problem? Let's see. Only one function at a time is executed. Okay, my dog wants to go out. Dunque, let's read what is said from the beginning. The error occurs because initialize app is being called multiple times. understand. So it's created a new Firebase. What's this Firebase JS? Let me check main events. Because we have this index.ts that imports both, yeah. Okay. A shared utility file. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Mm. Still keep going. This is going way too far. Oh my god. Okay, we just committed everything. So let's accept everything and see what kind of freaking mess did it do, man. And probably revert the whole thing. Let's see, maybe I'm being too negative. Still going. Oh, what? Hold on. Who told you to do this change? In tsconfig JSON. In tsconfig JSON. What's the difference between these two module resolutions? Oh my god. The importer require the difference aim to emulate, okay. Node or node 10, all the resolution strategy. There you go. Oh my god. No, 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 no. You know what? You messed up big time. Good idea to create that. Maybe I copy that. Keep it here. But revert all the rest. How can I put node 22? So let's see. My god. My god. Delete everything. Revert everything. Okay, the only thing left is this Firebase TS. Let's go check TS config module resolution and module. First question. Yeah. Let's break down the difference between module and module resolution compiler option in tsconfig JSON and then address your question about Node 22. These two options control different though related aspects of how TypeScript interact with modules. Modules, this option control the output format of the generated JavaScript code. It determines how TypeScript translate your import and export sentence into a code that is specific runtime will understand. If you set module CommonJS, TypeScript will compile your ES module import and export CommonJS. TypeScript module resolution, how TypeScript resolves module specifier during the compilation process. Okay. If you think of building a house, module is what type of screws to use in the house. Really? I thought I understood. Boo. I thought I understood that, then this analogy makes me confused. Module resolution is the builder knowledge where to build specific screw. Of where to buy that specific type of screw. Don't know. Okay. No, you should continue to use node next. Why are they capitalized differently? What's going on? Oh my God. Okay. Right. So leave that like that. And now we have our Firebase TS, which will initialize the app for us and create DB, which can be used. So now mail event, instead of doing that, we are going to, oh, yes. We don't need that too. We don't need that too. We are just going to import DB from Firebase JS. I mean, why it becomes JS, I don't know, but it works. That's so annoying. And so that should solve the error in a elegant way, not what the AI mess suggested. And same for interested. Now I can delete that, put my import, delete this line, and remove get firestore. Just keep the field value. Okay, so I can now build again, and hopefully that should work. I check on my dog. It's gone. Format. Try again. My dog is gone. It looks good now. It's deploying the functions. Main event. We got 3 functions now. If I go functions, I should eventually, maybe not yet, but eventually see 3 functions. Once the deployment is finished. Let's put on some music, man. Not sure if that's... Okay, deploy complete. Yeah, I should have the new function. Mail event, fantastic. So if I go here, I have a URL here. Can I reduce the volume? Okay, put it in the background. Yes, there is there is a URL here, but it's not the format I like. In here, there should be another URL. No. Why there are 2 formats of URL? One is with my budget pilot. That is so weird. Okay, let's try to ask this in chat mode. Please don't change any files. Let's check now. Okay, I'm happy about this. Let's commit first before the AI messes up again. Git add dot. So what we've done is commit. We created factorized creation of DB handle, something like that. Let's push the branch. Okay. So what I want to figure out, why when deploying my application, the 3 functions URL look different. Figure that out. So there are one on run up and one on cloud functions. The difference in the function URL, first and second generation, is due to how the functions are deployed in Google Cloud. Let me explain the URL part. Cloud URL ending with run up are Cloud Run Service URL, which means these functions are deployed as cloud services, Cloud Run. The function is a second generation cloud, which runs on Cloud Run, or you specifically deploy the function to Cloud Run. Oh, that's a first generation URL. You will need to ensure all functions deploy use the same method. Yep. Mail event. I like more the old URL. But I guess, yeah, let's fix mail event. Yes, I would like the AI to help me, but before I do that, I would like to figure out what are the difference between these two functions. So let's have a look. So here, mail event is the one that uses the old format. It's still getting on request from v2 on request async. The difference here is that I don't have cloud options, which I can add, but it's not really the default, but yeah, it goes on US Central 1 anyway. Can add that just to keep it consistent. That should not fix the issue. But I will try anyway a deployment just to see if there is any difference or not. Okay. Right, so I added these options that says is deployed US Central 1, which was the default anyway. The memory is less than the default because I think the default is 256. But I guess 128 is more than fine. And timeout 10 seconds is generous. It should end within a second or less. Try deployment again first. And before asking for help to the AI. So let's figure out if that difference, that change made any difference or not. Then we'll commit. And if it didn't make difference, we'll ask the AI. Oh, interesting. It just says second generation. What did it say before? Also said second generation. Yeah. So I don't know. So it's not true what's written there because it says all the functions should be second generation. They're already all second generation. Also before my change. Let's wait and see what happens. Oh, interesting. Now the URL has been updated. So like the option thing was what made the trick. Oh, so this suffix adds Merzelda is kind of connected to my account. Is that the same? So I can build this URL with a function name and a suffix that is always the same, including the hyphen. Interesting to know. So by the way, I can check now that in the front end, I called the function somewhere. Which probably is in the form, which is using this thing, which maybe still works, by the way. What happened? Not clear what happens. Maybe it still works, and maybe that's not even the way to figure out hyphen B. Yeah, it still works. The URL still work because it's sending it's replying with 204, which is no content response, which is my function doing that. Anyhow, I will update the URL to be the one returned. So this one, just to keep everything consistent. It's also a shorter URL. I like the other one more, but never mind. Okay, so now done that little change, I guess that we can test. We can commit. Let's commit. What we do is about see. Yeah, and did HTTP options S to mail event to have consistent URLs. As weird as it looks, such as side effects that makes no sense, but it works. So now that we have our mail event function that should record something in the database every time it's hit, we can finally connect it to SNS and see what happens. So that's the function, mail event. The URL is here. It's not easy to copy there. Oh God, here I can't see it anymore. That's the old URL. View logs, detail usage starts. We give me the URL. Oh, that's the old school URL. Yeah, returns forbidden. Okay, I have it here. Okay, main event. Right, let's connect this to SNS. There you go. I don't know raw message delivery thing. I will not check it. And I don't need anything else. Let's just do like this, simple. You must confirm it. Okay. So now it should have created a first document with the confirmation URL inside Firestore. Let's go find it. Oh, no, it did not. It did not work. So let's check the logs. And probably we have to add no more logs then. I did not expect that. View logs. Was it called once? Yes, it was. Well, one time is when we call by the hand, but then when it was called by AWS, the object was too big and it exceeded the memory limit. That's why we don't have anything in the database. I think, but why we have here a 403 from Amazon? So we didn't accept the request from Amazon as well. So our check is too restrictive. Maybe we should remove the check. Yeah, we should remove the check and log it as well or something and figure out what's the right check to put instead. But for that, I want to also log the headers. So, few changes. One, let's make sure that we are editing mail events. Let's close everything else to keep it simple. Let's go to 156 megabyte. How big are SNS events? How big are SES, SNS events? And I don't know if it's talking about the same thing I mean. But we will see. Let's start 2556. So here, request body, console log, request headers, but we probably want log. We probably want to do JSON stringify. Okay, so we can see the headers. Let's see what else. We want to remove that because it didn't work apparently, but we want to keep post. Or we remove everything for now. Yeah, and we'll add all these checks later. Let's just let it go. So now we want to deploy the change. I'm just double checking. So I put the headers and then the bodies was there. Yeah, this time it should work. So Firebase deploy only functions. Firebase deploy only functions. And there is a way to deploy only one function. I wrote that in the README because now, yeah, before I was changing more things, but now we know, I change only one function. Only functions, okay. That's the one. So let's put it here. What I want to do is Firebase deploy only functions mail event. Let's see if that's any faster. Okay. Format. Yeah, npm run format. Go with the deploy. No check at all. So when I go back here, we can confirm the subscription because we lost the URL. We couldn't save it. So pending confirmation. Confirmation will never arrive. We can request a confirmation again. That's interesting. So yeah, let's click on that without deleting it. We can't delete it apparently. That is weird. And what does confirm subscription do? Don't want to do that one because I want to really see the confirmation first. So let's wait for the update of the function.
Whispered promises straight to my heart. I'd never noticed, but you were never there, you were never there. Hey, you gave me roses, set me apart. All I feel was bliss, but you were never there, you were never. I want us to be what we used to be this night. Baby, just another fight, but you don't wanna see me cry.
Okay.
There is no way that it's never going there.
Okay, deploy complete. Let's click on request confirmation. Right. Let's see logs.
Down in empty streets, looking for joy. I don't wanna admit I'm better on my own, better on my own. You say we're not meant for each other.
Okay.
I'm not sure of this. I won't give up on this.
Let's see.
'Cause I don't wanna be,
That is awkwardly small. How to okay. Sad.
better go someplace I don't know, 'cause I got your picture on my wall. I want us to be what we used to be this night. Maybe just another fight, but you don't wanna see me cry. There is no way that it's never.
Because this entry
I think it better run, I swear.
is a different call because the time is minute before, 40 seconds before. This one says request agent is simple notification service. So we got this URL, this log entry, and then we got this, that's our console log. And then it says memory limit of 128 exceeded, but I put that to 156. Why does it say memory limit exceeded? I checked there. Can I see the configuration here? What this says? Matrix. There is that. Count 6. So many open. So that means SLO logs revision source triggers networking security YAML, but no, how do I say configuration? Here, edit server level, scanning settings, scaling, revisions. Oh, okay. Maybe I have something here. Request based, enable concurrency 80, timeout 10 seconds. Why don't you tell the memory? Image, base image, port, build. Oh, memory limited to 156. So why does it say 128 megabyte exceeded when I have 256 I went through? That is weird. Maybe it's called an old function. It didn't yet deploy the new one. No, it's not true. It called the new one because the code was updated. So if I go storage, it's called no storage, but Firestore. Oh, I have the collection. Oh, what the heck is that? I created a collection with one character. What the heck has just happened? One field with a lane number, one character at a time. That's why I want it out of memory so easily. What the heck is this? Oh my god. What the heck is this? Oh, probably body was a string and spreading it did this miracle of creating one uh, uh, I think let's figure that out. So if body is a string, request body, let's be precise. If request body is a string, what would the spreading it do? And I think that's it done what it did. So adding line number in one character at a time. Oh my god. And that's the AI generating this shit, man. Yeah, that's what happened, mate. That's exactly what happened. So let's change that to say body, no request body. That will also prevent the out of memory error. I'm happy to leave 256 megabyte there just in case, but that would use much less memory now, keeping the body together. Okay, so you know what? We are at it. Let's record the header too, like this. Body is a string, but hold on. That should be a comma. Is it defined as linear? And headers is a key value pair. So there we really need to do JSON stringify. Okay. Right. So let's go back and the headers were correctly logged, so we can check those. But I'm not sure about the failure we got. Can I delete the logs, you know? Main event. Logs. By the way, I'm alternating between Google Cloud Console and Firebase Console. I think the Google Cloud Console looks a little more clean, isn't it? Can I delete all the logs? No, it's not like the console in Firefox or something. Logs in Explorer. Oh, okay, that's worse for me because I just want to see a simple list with less clutter as possible. That increase the clutter. What is one? Okay, yes, I did. Okay, we'll just keep on an eye on the time to figure out what's old and what's new. Default info. Ah, yeah. So I got lost looking at this thing, mesmerized. But what I wanted to see is checking the headers. However, if I open that, it's not the same thing that I see above because there I see accept encoding gzip, okay, and content length is only 1500 byte, by the way, it's not big. But if I click on it, I see a totally different thing. And probably it's in JSON payload. Okay. Yeah. Yep. And what I was checking was the presence of what? Of the header X Amazon XMZ SNS service message, which is close enough, but is message ID. There is a message type subscription confirmation, yeah. The same information should be in the body. But I might want to write down some of these things or copy, I mean, yeah, which are probably these are the interesting one. So in here, let me put that here for reference temporarily. Oh yeah, yeah. And yeah, I was checking for the presence of XR and said let's check for the presence of message ID. Okay, that should work once I uncomment it. And the other thing to check if that should be a post. Content length transparent. I don't see that. I don't see method. Yeah, because don't know why, but I see here post. Post to handle. Hey, hi. Someone joined? No, already left. That's okay. So what I have it. I sent resource request method post. Yeah, so that should be okay. So what I'm gonna do is say uncomment this bit. I think we can be confident on it. I double check again that this corresponds XMZSNS message ID. This kind of looking also for user agent looks like an overkill. We're already checking that exists. But the other interesting thing is maybe the topic, but maybe we can trust that. Maybe the topic and the type. The type will change depending on the type of. Well, I'll keep that for now as a reference. So, but we can double check these things when we save the event. Let's see what we are logging. This will log nothing, but console. Oh, what's the proper way to log? Let's ask here in the AI instead. What's the proper way to log in Firebase Cloud Function? I'm using console log at the moment, which works, but maybe isn't ideal. Okay, go ahead. What's going on there? Current approach works for development. Okay. Log from Firebase functions. Okay. So from Firebase function, I can import log. No, I can't. Firebase functions v2 on request. Ah, yeah. Import log. log. Yeah, it would be interesting to know why the request was denied. Error message, error object, comma. Okay, let's try that. So we put an object like this, say method, probably not method, but method, and message ID. Copy that bit. Okay. npm run format. So invite request, we got this message ID, AWS message ID. Amazon SNS, say SNS message ID. Otherwise, let's get rid of that. If it goes here, we can save the request in the database. We don't need to log. Yeah, if it's an error, we log. Alrighty, let's deploy. Mhm. Yeah, that was not the thing. See, trust in the AI. Phew. Okay, so I think let's go to check my Firebase database. Now I have a main event is absolutely ridiculous, all broken down like that. Let's delete it. Document. Delete. Once we deploy the new function, the event should be correct. That means we have to go back to subscription and request confirmation one more time. So just wait for the deployment first. Okay. So let's do say request confirmation. So that's sent. Is this already a new event? Yes, it's already a new event. And it has, why is it showing like that? It has a body and a headers and a timestamp. To confirm, visit the subscribe URL. There it is. And then headers. Of course, putting like that as a string is awkward, yeah? It would be better to expand them. But the thing is, I don't really want them. I don't really want to keep them like this. I want to see the content, but I think I want to save individual fields. But I guess right now I'm not sure about the content, how it will change from different events. So maybe it's better to pass JSON and headers. Headers was already a JSON. So when I go back to the source code of my function, where is it here? It would work better if I don't stringify the headers and put them like this. Body, instead I have to parse it, right? JSON parse. So it becomes an object. Right, that would be better. So now I execute deployment. I check on my dog. Deploying. And we hit the confirmation once more. Then I would like to know, in here, if I just confirm, it will probably override the request confirmation thing, but we'll see later. Let's try to confirm it first. Let's delete this document while we wait. By the way, when I delete a document, the collection will also disappear on reloading the page. Let's see. My understanding is correct. Yes. Correct. Deployment complete. So let's hit request confirmation once more. This will create a new log event. Yeah, maybe I should have hit this refresh button there. But I reloaded the whole page. That should also work. Okay. There's no out of memory anymore, which is good. And I guess... Oh, this is my deployment, I think. And this is the SNS. So that should have created a new collection. I have to reload the whole page here. I don't think there is some refresh here. Introducing first edition MongoDB. Right, mail events. Now it should be looking much better. Yeah, here you go. Good. Now we got body. We have chosen to subscribe. Signature cert URL. Certificate URL. And then we have a subscribe URL. That's the one we should hit. Token. Topic. And then headers, which contains the topic as well. And a message type. In here, message ID, signature, where the message type? There isn't. Ah, yes, this subscription confirmation. So type is both in the body and the headers. The URL we are interested in is this subscribe URL. Let's try edit field. Oh, that's really big. Anyway, that makes it easy to copy. And we paste it there. And I think it means it's subscribed. Yep. Because there is a subscription in IRN. If I go here, I now need to probably reload this page. There's no refresh here. Right, reload the page, and then it should be marked as confirmed. Correct. This one is confirmed, the first one. If I go here, I can delete the first, not the second. Don't know why. Anyway, I now delete it. Yes, and do it again just to understand correctly what happens. Yeah, I don't care. Already told me 20 times. Create subscription to the same function. Protocol HTTPS to the same function. Create. Oh, the topic is email. I thought you're already in the context. Okay, anyway, mail topic. Create. Now, if I go here in the list of subscriptions, it's pending confirmation. Can I confirm? Nice, just like that. Ah, still need the URL. Interesting. Okay, so here I now have two documents, and I think the correct one is this one. So I can put it in that thing or in the browser. So let's delete this document, which was the old confirmation. And by the way, we don't need to keep the subscription confirmation. We might want to delete it, but anyway, let's test this. Now it's confirmed. So now it starts the interesting part. If I send an email, I should start to get the real events. And now this is totally detached from this collection, but we'll figure that out. So, okay, this sends an email. Just have to reload this page. And we'll send at least a couple of events. One event is the one that says the email has been sent, and the other is received or what? I don't know. We will see very soon. 3 events. No, I'm looking at the wrong collections. 2 events. One is says event type delivery. Then event type, that's a subscription. And then we have event type sent. Okay. Oh, interesting. So now the body that is output as JSON has also another JSON inside the field message as a string. And I have message ID signature, subject, and a subscribe URL. What was the unsubscribe URL? Will it be for the user to unsubscribe or for the function to be unsubscribed? I think it's the letter for the function. Okay. So now it's time to start to put all these things a little bit together, which is like a bit complicated, yeah. But so we are sending a test email. We'll also have to generate these emails, messages, decide how to put them. But we are sending a test email just like that, hard coded. Then we have the interested function, which records a user and with a code to send an email for the user to confirm the subscription. It's kind of complex because suppose that user subscribes, then does not confirm the subscription, and after some time subscribes again. So generate a new code, then when looking to database, we have to find the right record. Maybe that's just enough to do, or the descending value. But it's time to think what I want to achieve on here. So there are 2 emails. One is apply as a tester. Well, two categories of emails, and one join the waiting list. Both of them, they should send, some kind of confirm the email address link. and then they should send maybe another function, another message saying confirm you will receive the updates or something. So this message have to be jotted down, maybe text only, maybe text and HTML. Yeah, I also have to finish the website with the other pieces. I think I need to put my ideas together, so it's time to end the stream and decide how to continue here. The technical problem is at a good point now, but I need to understand better what to do.